Hello there, lovely people. This is me, Ashley, here, sending my love to you from whatever reality I'm in today to whatever reality you happen to find yourselves in. Well, this is, I got fired up earlier on because I was watching Brian Staveley and he was talking about trolls, people that, deniers, debunkers, all that bollocks. And he got me fired up. He got me that riled about the sort of things that people say. I mean, recently I have had quite a lot of Mandela debunk videos being shown to me on my YouTube feed. And I'm like, give me a break. Well, because I got all fired up, I did the wrong thing. I actually went and had a look at a couple. And I have just watched one where a man used this as an example of the Mandela Effect not being real. It's The Matrix. The Matrix. Many of us remember The Matrix being starring Keanu Reeves, and we're wrong because it was Tom Cruise. Okay, breathe. I'm so... oh God, we shit like that. The case closed. We're all wrong, loves. We're all wrong. Oh my God. Tom Cruise was originally in The Matrix, please. Oh, never mind the whole... Oh, it's... Oh, I can't... I can't. What? Oh, I wanted to come on and make a serious point, but I can't. Right, okay. I'm okay now. Yeah, it's the people that are trying to debunk the Mandela Effect. Look, I can understand, I can very much understand people that deny it for a number of reasons. One, they must be shitting themselves, let's face it. This thing is happening to us. I know an awful lot of people do see changes, they just can't handle it. So, a lot of people, yeah, they're deniers. I understand a denier. But a debunker, debunk my British arse, pal. Because quite frankly, you can debunk fuck all. Because the Mandela Effect is real, whether you say it is or not. It doesn't matter how many people that you can have lead away to say, yeah, we're all idiots, we're all mental. Fair dues. But at least do yourselves a favour and actually have a look at the residual evidence. Berenstain Bears has got nothing to do with the fact that most young people believe one thing and old people are old, so they believe something else. Do yourselves a favour, if you're actually watching debunking Mandela Effect videos, at least go and have a look at people that are Mandela affected and have a look at the things they say. There is plenty of residual evidence out there. Plenty of it. Yeah, so Brian, you really wound me up today. It got me really annoyed. And yeah, I know, I've seen quite a lot of people being unbelievably bad to Brian. Not just disrespecting him and trying to blacken his name, but downright vile stuff they're saying. These debunkers, you're not debunking anything. You're making yourselves look like idiots, especially if you're going to come out with shit like Tom Cruise was in the first Matrix. Please. And things like, oh, but all they did is that they just changed the brand name. Do you think we haven't thought of that? Really? And it's not just brands. It's actual in-your-face changes in real time, in reality. And there ain't any way or any amount of words that you can say, debunkers, is ever going to debunk it, because it's real and it's happening. So, I mean, why bother? Why try? Why try and prove us wrong? Why? Do you know what I mean? Why? Doesn't make any sense to me. At least have a proper look at the evidence. You're all busy saying that that Ed McMahon never worked for Publishing Clearinghouse, but there's loads and loads of evidence that he was. And recently there's been evidence popped up with Ed McMahon working for American Family Publishing, but you weren't using all that when trying to debunk it not long ago, were you? And if it had been there, you would have been using that, wouldn't you, to debunk with? So you didn't. So just think about that. You didn't even use that residue, that information against the residue that is quite all over the place about Ed McMahon actually having worked for Publisher Clearinghouse. If there was any evidence whatsoever while you were blabbing on about it, about him working for American Family Publishers at the time, you'd have used it, but you didn't because it wasn't there. So think about that. Do you know what I mean? Just think. Stop. Think. If you're listening to that kind of shit, you know, I really feel very sorry for you, trying to debunk something. Listening to people trying to debunk something that, you know, they totally ignore all of the residue. Totally ignore all of the residue. And, like, they're not doing themselves any favours, are they? So, quite frankly, you can debunk my arse, mate, because you got more chance of debunking my arse than you have of debunking the Mandela Effect, because do yourself a favour and open your mind. Look at the residual evidence, and especially the Ed McMahon stuff. I mean, that just puts you right in your place, doesn't it? You've just, your whole debunk and debunking the Mandela Effect has just been blown out the window, because you'd have used that if it had been around at the time. But it wasn't for you to use, was it? Which is why you didn't. And that's what we're saying. Reality's changing, and that proves it more than anything else. So, thank you, Brian, for getting me on a rant. Mandela Effect debunkers, piss off, quite frankly, because, I mean, you're just childish. Why spend your time trying to debunk something that you can't debunk? Try and actually look at the evidence. And anybody, like I said, that's watching, that comes across this, that has been watching debunking shit, please go and have a look at the many, many, many evidence, you know, channels with evidence, residual evidence of everything that we remember. And I send my love to all of you, especially you debunkers, because you really need it. From what I've seen, you're a right vile bunch, aren't you? You're not very pleasant, are you? You just name call, because you can't debunk it, because something really freaky and weird is happening. So you keep glossing over all the evidence, but the evidence about Ed McMahon wasn't there when you could have used it all these months. Could have used it, couldn't you, if it was there? But it wasn't there before, because that wasn't the reality before, was it? So now there's plenty of evidence showing that he worked for Publishing Clearinghouse, and now there's video evidence of him working for American Family Publishers. But it wasn't there before, was it? So debunk that. Debunk that. Anyway, I feel a bit better for getting that off my chest. Have an open mind, guys. Nobody knows what's causing this. None of us do. And if, you know, it's been levelled that we put answers in people's heads, I think you'll find that we don't. We're desperate for people to remember, especially our loved ones, to remember what it is that we remember, and we know that they should. We aren't telling them the answers. We're that desperate for them to tell us what the answer is. We don't give them you know, we ask questions that they should know the answers to. It's not a multiple choice. We ask what they remember. So, you know, please, if you're interested in the Mandela Effect, genuinely interested, there's plenty of us out here that are only too happy to discuss it with you. But stop trying to bring down a community of people that are reaching out to each other, because some really fucking strange shit is happening to us. And we need to talk with each other about it. We don't need arseholes trying to debunk something and in the meantime coming out with stupid shit like, oh, no, it's only the young people who remember it one way and the old people remember the other way because they're old. Or, oh, it's all on the internet can be manipulated. Well, it shows you've done no research whatsoever. If you're actually going to research it properly. For number one, the amount of times that I have seen every one of these videos, they start off with explaining what the Mandela Effect is. The Mandela Effect is when people remembered him dying in 2000 odd and something. But they're not the only ones that are Mandela affected, you see. This is how little research you've done. Because people that remember him dying in 2013, like myself, I'm Mandela affected, but I don't remember him dying then. So even that, the most basic thing as to why it's called the Mandela Effect, you get wrong. So please, if you're going to be a researcher and do some debunking, you're never ever going to be able to research enough, because you can't debunk, because it's really happening. And instead of trying to spread shit and say vile things about people reaching out to other people that are Mandela affected, do yourself a favour and grow up. You're pathetic. You're like in the schoolyard. You know, you're supposed to be adults here. And you're talking about paedophiles and drinking piss and that. Come on, grow up. Grow up and open up your mind. And when you've got Mandela Effect people telling you what they're going through, at least listen to them, instead of just throwing out your arsey shit. We're a community here that needs each other. We don't need your bollocks. And there isn't, you can't debunk it, and you can't break up our little community. So, you know, I'd rather be on the side where people are nice to each other and we help each other and we reach out to each other. Not on your side, which is full of hate and vileness. You can keep it, love. Maybe that's why you're not Mandela affected, because you're a vile piece of shit. And on that note, I'm sending my love to every one of you, because we all need it.